Happy Monday, June 6th. We are halfway through the year, guys. How weird is that? It is a weird year. I think that's the new normal is weird. So we're just going to embrace it and roll with it as we do. I'm really excited about today's topic. I'm excited about this month as I was just kind of reflecting on, and I pray about these calls, guys. I pray like, God, what do you need? What does the team need? Where's everybody at? And I just felt like needing to go back to the basics of breaking down the process of attract, connect, invite, follow up in separate topics, because it's so simple and it can be so overwhelming. Like, what a weird conundrum, right? It's so simple what we need to do to grow a business, and it can paralyze us. So today we're going to be talking about the attract part, and essentially is marketing. And I'm excited about some new thoughts and new resources that I have to share with you guys. But first, I just wanted to go over a couple things. Did everyone receive their promo code for this month? Did anyone not? Okay. So in case anyone doesn't know, or anyone watching the recording doesn't know, everyone this month got a promo code for all Total Solution packs. So that is a huge opportunity to use to leverage in your marketing and in following up with people and saying, hey, I got a special, and especially in your DMs, in your messages. I sounded so Instagrammy right there. In your DMs, when you're in your DMs, make sure, oh my gosh, that you make it personal. So, hey, I just want to let you know I got a $20 promo code for all of my friends, especially when you're in a one-on-one conversation. I know you wanted to do this before and it just didn't work out for whatever reason. So I thought of you. Always try to make them feel special. When you make people feel special and take time out of your life to reach out to them, it's not you bugging them. It's you really caring, and they will feel that on the other end of it. So I highly recommend using that kind of verbiage. I thought of you. You popped into my mind as soon as I got this email that I have this $20 off. I thought you would really like it. Is now a better time? And then take the conversation from there. So wanted to go over that first. Next, for those of you who are coming to Summit, there's still time if you haven't decided yet, but we are in the process of creating some team shirts. So I should have those done by the end of the week for everybody to order, which will be really fun. I'm still on the prowl for a photographer over there, so we can do some not intense like we did here in Coeur d'Alene team photos, but to get some professional team photos, I think would be really cool. Excuse me. I'm really excited for that event. It's gonna be really good. And then lastly, wanted to congratulate Amy and Krista for being members of the Secret Success Club Society. I never can say that, SSCS, for the month of May. I feel like I don't remember the rules. I'm going to tell you guys what the prize that they won, because you're going to find out anyways. And I don't think it matters now at this point. So how this works is when you hit Success Club, the next month on the 6th of the month, you're going to get a message that's going to have your invitation and tell you what you qualified for hitting Success Club. That will happen in the next month. So because they hit Success Club in May, in June, I can't remember what the date is, they get a private cooking class with Autumn and Bobby Calabrese. And Autumn is doing her own menu and shopping list and special Zoom just for this group, which is really, really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so cool. So every month is going to be a little bit different. Just think like the coaches in this community that we've pulled together are at the top of the top, so they know everyone. And like one of them was like, yeah, let me reach out to Autumn and see if they'll do it, and she was all about it. So I know, like, what a crazy life. We haven't decided on what the future ones are, but just know, like, we've got the workout with Joel coming up, we've got different things coming up, so it's always going to be a different type of activity. But the thing, like the quality of the prize is going to be around this cool of how this one is. I also wanted to mention this because this, Krista qualified for this. If you're building a spouse account, I will count the Success Club points in your spouse account and your personal account to equal where Success Club 5. I don't want you to have to worry about another thing to have to think about. While it'd be awesome if you did hit Success Club in your personal account as well, I do honor like the long-term plan of also building a controlled account to build your income, and I want to honor that. So I just wanted to get that kind of housekeeping stuff out of the way. Any questions about that stuff before we move on? I'm not sure. Oh, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, that's so crazy. Wild.
I know. It's so cool. It's going to be awesome. I think Felisa tried to unmute herself and she hung up. Maybe not. Maybe she was gone. Okay, let's move in to the topic of tonight. And it's not going to be anything like crazy, but I do think, and I'm hoping that you'll have some tidbits to walk away from. First, so talking about attraction, like the goal of attracting people to what you do. If you didn't know, this is a goal in a successful business, right? Any business. Let's take Mason Bar Company, for example, because she's been killing it. She just started. April Rafferty, the owner of it, is in our message pod. And she owns Mason Bar Company, which we all know and love. If you look on her Instagram, attraction is all that draws her business, right? And repeat customers. But if you don't have the attraction portion of what is it that you offer, why do you offer it? What's the problem that you're solving for me? No one's going to know. No one's going to care. No one's going to ever want to be a part of what you have. The same is true for our business. So that's the point behind learning and actually taking the time to invest in like watching some YouTube videos, being on this call, things like that, to learn like, okay, how do I do this better? Because nobody knows how to do marketing like as a baby. Like nobody knows, right? So don't get down on yourself if you're like, I'm just really bad at social media, or I'm just really bad at marketing. I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to post. I don't know how to take pictures. That's okay. That's the majority of the people until they learn. And then that's just part of the process, right? It's like that with everything in our lives. So please don't get in your head if you're not good at this. Just know that it is valuable and it will be worth the investment of time or even money if you invest in buying some marketing material to learn how to do it. And that's how you get better. There's several coaches on our team who went from nothing to doing really great at marketing. Amy and Jamie are great examples of that. They had no social media before at all. I still am amazed that Amy grew to be a diamond coach without literally having one picture of her face on Instagram. I think that's amazing. But you guys know, like they're so inspiring and they're so consistent and they're so great and they offer so much inspiration and value and encouragement. And they were not like that in the beginning. So now that we kind of have that out of the way, let's make sure that we start always first and foremost with our vision. I want you to we're going to take 1 minute, literally 60 seconds. And I want you to give everyone the space to write down, okay, let me remember, why do I want to attract people to what I'm doing? Why am I a coach? Why am I on this call? Why do I even care? What is the power in it? And I want you to think of this question as the best version of yourself. All of you have heard me say this so many times. Think of who is the best version of yourself and show up to be her tonight. And I want you to ask, like, why do I want to be doing this? What is the power that I see? What is the vision that I see? And why is it so important to me to show up and learn how to do this well? Okay, I'm going to set my timer for 1 minute. I want you to write some things down. If you can, writing is the best psychological tool. It really does something different. And then we'll come back. To tell you how much I love you, I love you, my heart is exploding. to worship you. I've been fighting for words to say, been chasing the rhymes to make, but your love is far too great. Oh, this song is not enough to articulate my love. No, nothing could be enough. Oh, my heart is sinking deep. Okay. Where did you guys go? I lost my screen. I will say that the most important thing that you can do in your business and in life is to write this down every single day. Every single morning. I will be the first to admit that I have not had a good habit of doing this. But every successful person, not just in Beachbody, but every successful person in business, like very successful, multimillionaire, but not just money, living a full, vibrantly full life, writes down their vision every day, because we all get distracted. We all get discouraged. We all have flames thrown our way that will always plant seeds of doubt. And if you're getting seeds of doubt and discouragement, and let's just face it, we live in a dark, frustrating world. If you're constantly being exposed to that, you have to fight that. And only you can make that choice to do that through discipline. You're not going to feel like doing it. Just like we don't all feel like doing our workout. We don't feel like eating broccoli instead of the tray of brownies. But when we develop that discipline, we are better for it, and we will live fuller, more successful lives because of it. So I highly recommend getting in a habit of doing this every morning. Now that you took a minute to recenter yourself on why this is important to you, the next question that I want you to write down, that I want you to think about for a second, is who is it that you're wanting to attract to your business? And I've told you this before, but not everybody is worth the $50 commission that you're going to get by them buying a challenge pack. Not everybody is your cup of tea, and you're not everybody else's cup of tea. And that is a beautiful thing. It is a good thing. It is a positive thing. So for all the people pleasers in here trying to make everyone happy, that is not only unsustainable, but it's not healthy, because I know I don't want to make the devil happy, right? I don't know that I don't want to make evil people happy. That would mean that I would be in alignment with what they want. If you stand for anything in this world, you're going to have an opposition, and that is okay. That's okay. So we're going to take a couple minutes, and I want you to write down some of the traits of the people that bring you joy to work with. You know, the people that you're around, that's refreshing to be with them, or people who have asked you for help and you're like, man, I'm so glad that you asked, because I can actually help you because I've been there. My sister-in-law right now and my brother both tested positive for COVID. And I was this pregnant as she is. She's pregnant. She's due in July. And I was as pregnant as she is when I was pregnant with Madison. And some of you probably remember when I was put on quarantine because of my stupid baby shower. And someone had tested positive, and it became like so much drama in Tuolumne County, down to Sacramento. It was on the news station. Baby shower exposes people to COVID. You would have thought I was a murderer. But anyways, I was there. And so I am able to relate to her. That's something we have in common. And because I overcame that, I can say, like, I've been there. I'm so sorry. You're going to get through this. So there's things in your life that you've experienced. There's things that you've overcome that you actually have a passion for. And maybe you're still even healing through. But sometimes part of that healing process is actually helping other people through it too. So we're going to take 4 minutes, and I want you to just bullet point some things down. Like, what is your ideal person that gives you joy to work with? Any questions about that? Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Ready to go. I'm just lost in your majesty. Oh, running like waterfalls, melodies flood my soul. On the brink of an overflow, completely astounded, awestruck and confounded. You leave me completely speechless, completely astounded, awestruck and confounded. You leave me completely speechless. It's impossible to write more than I could describe. Just how you changed my life. Oh, I've been fighting for words to say, been chasing the rhymes to make, but your love is far too great. Completely astounded, awestruck and confounded. You leave me completely speechless. Completely astounded, awestruck and confounded. You leave me completely speechless. Astounded, awestruck and dumbfounded, you leave me completely. How are you guys doing? You need a few more minutes? Are you good? Okay. Did anyone realize as you were, I know a couple of you have already done this before, but did anyone realize as you were writing these things down that you were writing down yourself or your former self or like traits about yourself? It is a good thing. Not that we don't need diversity in our life, but when you're working with people on a close level, it is helpful to find people that have similar or like-minded to some of your core values, or who want that, or who are open to it. You don't want people with super conflicting personalities or values, because then you're going to be exhausting yourself, and for them, it's not going to be a good fit either, and that's okay. I've had people who signed up with me, and then I noticed they quit, and I had reached out to them and they felt uncomfortable with how much I talked about God, and that's okay. And I said, okay, I totally understand. And I wish you the best in your journey, but that's something that I know that I'm not going to change. And if that's not a good fit, then that's okay. So it's important when you're making this list to really think about it as you go out in your marketing endeavors, because you want to speak to them. Because if you're speaking to everyone, you probably have all heard this, you're speaking to no one. There's a lot of businesses around here that if they have a Bible verse on their business card or in their advertising, or they're like a patriot, I want to support them because it's something that's so deeply rooted in me that I want to support people that have those similar values. And I'm sure that you guys have experienced that too, right? So that is why that exercise is really important. You can spend more time doing that as you have more time. Okay, so thinking of your ideal client, now we're going to take a few minutes and I want you to write down right now in the world that you're experiencing, the world that you're in, what are the top problems that these people have in life in general? What are their biggest struggles? You're going to make bullet points. We're going to do like 2 minutes here. Ready, go.
Been chasing the rhymes to make, and your love is far too great. Ooh, this song is not enough to articulate my love. No, nothing could be enough. Ooh. My heart is sinking deep, wandering in your sea. I'm just lost in your majesty. Oh, running like waterfalls, melodies flood my soul. On the brink of an overflow, completely astounded, awestruck and confounded. You leave me completely speechless, completely astounded, awestruck and confounded. You leave me completely speechless. It's impossible to write more than I could describe, just how you changed my life.
Okay. Did anyone identify that these problems are things that you have struggled with maybe or are struggling with? Okay, here's the amazing thing about this exercise. What you just did is wrote a marketing plan of who exactly you're speaking to and what you need to talk about. And you identify with the people and their problems. So it should not be something marketing, and whether it's on social media or in a different capacity, should not feel so forced, like that you have to come up with something, some extravagant thing or extravagant plan. It really should come from your heart. And now that we have this part done, like, please don't lose this. Keep this somewhere that every time that you're sitting down to work or go on social media or do any kind of marketing stuff or having conversations, that you remember what the problems are and who's struggling with it, because you are a problem solver. That is what your business is. It is all about helping people solve their problems. We need you. We need you to show up. We need more of us to show up and be the light and be the hope and show a different way. So next, we're going to talk a little bit more strategy and some things that I've learned. I will tell you guys, every week I am more surprisingly surprised at how similar real estate and growing a real estate business is to growing a successful Beachbody business. It is so similar in so many ways. Like, you get leads and you have to follow up with them, and they always they're teaching this group of real estate agents who have never had any kind of business development in the past, which I've been doing for over 6 years now, that it requires like 7 to 10 follow-ups with people a lot of times before you'll ever get a response. That is the same in our business, and we'll talk about that more in the follow-up week. I heard recently, it is, if you don't do something consistently for 90 days, it's not even worth trying out. So I want everyone, if you're in this with me, we're linking arms to help more people, to serve more people, to say, okay, I'm going to have a 90-day approach to my marketing. This is serious business stuff, guys. We have to market for our business. We're going to have a 90-day approach, and you're going to come up with a plan that works for you, that you're willing to say, okay, I can do this. Now, don't worry because I'm keeping it very simple. Instagram has changed again, as it does. And the things that we were taught this last year aren't so much the cool things to do anymore. Who follows Brock Johnson on Instagram? If you don't, I would like you to get your phone out right now, and I want you to go follow him. It's BROCK Johnson. He is Shalene Johnson's son, and Shalene and Brock run Insta Club Hub. I'm not personally a part of Insta Club Hub right now because I'm a part of so many paid memberships that I end up not taking the time to actually engage in. But they are one of the best resources I've found for staying up to date with Instagram changes. And if you follow him, he has so many free, amazing Instagram tricks and tips for how things have changed. We're specifically talking about online marketing right now, and I'm going to talk about offline marketing in a second. But specifically on Instagram, Instagram's algorithm is honoring consistency, authenticity, and originality. So sharing other people's content used to be an awesome thing to do. It's not so much awesome anymore. They, for whatever reason, are not sharing those posts as much. So I've been thinking about this recently because, as you guys know, my life is crazy as it's ever been. And consistency is something that's been hard for me because I'm currently seriously managing 3.5 Instagram accounts, and someone is like begging me to pay me to do theirs. It's a salon, and I'm like, I don't know if I can. So I have to keep it simple. And what used to work for me is like, okay, in the moment, like, let me just do something in the moment. But now I don't have very many moments, and so things are not happening as consistently as I'd like. So I am going to try for 90 days, alternating between a quote, sharing like an inspirational or a helpful quote or a health fact or something in a text, and a reel. Now, reels can be very intimidating to people, but I want to tell you, like, I was just listening to Brock the other day, and it could be as simple as this. You get your phone out and you open up your reels, like to make a reel, and you're outside or you're in your gym or we're in your kitchen or wherever, and you're just talking in the camera, saying something or asking a question for like 10 seconds. That's a reel. Like, it doesn't have to be these crazy change your things, reverse, change your clothes, your hair and your makeup's all done. Like, the things they do, they're very cool, but they're so time consuming. Oh my gosh, what do I do? They're so time consuming. And I think they're amazing if somebody has the time to do them. But I know that most of us, including myself, I just don't have the time to do a lot of those. And then when I do them and they get like 10 likes, I'm like, that sounds stupid. And then I'll be like, Krista, and Krista's like, I just talked about my camping trip and I got like a bajillion engagements. Like, what is happening in people from other countries? Like, this is so annoying. Like, they don't talk about that. Like, you don't get that kind of response on your Beachbody post. It just happens sometimes. I don't even know. But if you can alternate between something like that, you don't have to do what I'm doing, but find something where like, okay, I'm just going to alternate between a quote and a reel. And then so here's the second part of that. You can choose one day a week to make all of your quotes or find them. You don't have to make them, find them, and make your reels for the week. And you can use a scheduling app like Planoly. There's other ones out there. You can just Google it. Planoly, Planoly, is one that you can try out, and you could schedule your posts for the week. So you can actually have 7 posts go out for the week. It won't take you that long, shouldn't take you that long to do. And then you're consistent for the whole week in your posts just by coming up with 7 posts, right? Again, it doesn't have to be what I said, but for me, I'm like, hey, I could add, because every reel and every quote is going to add value. Another tip, if you do a quote and then you record it, like do like a 10-second recording, as silly as that sounds, and I just learned this from Brock too, and upload it, it'll play as a loop, and the more plays that it gets, the more Instagram is going to favor that, because people are staying on it longer to read the text. I'm like, these things, like, why do they make it so hard? It needs a guidebook that changes every day with Instagram. But I just want to share that because I learned it. Then the next part of that, this is something that's been helpful for me. For those of you who don't know, so Brendan Burchard, who's going to be at Summit, which I'm so excited. He's one of my favorite business development, personal development coaches. I did his course, the High Performance Habits mentoring thing. I can't remember. It's like 8 weeks long. It was amazing. But I have a notebook that are full of quotes and personal development. Sarah, I know that you have, Sarah Holland. I know, I forget there's two of you, and on my screen, you're right next to each other. I know that you have notebooks full of like Summit stuff and personal development stuff and stuff over the years. So what I'm doing personally is going through those, and I'm pulling quotes out of them. Or I will make a reel of me saying, like I just posted a quote last week in our group with, oh no, I'm so sorry, Sarah. I'm sorry. I'm glad you're here. It's good to see you. I will ask a question like, or say an inspiring quote and then ask a question, such as like the one I just posted last week was there are two things that change your life. Either something happens to you or something comes from within you. What will you like, what could come from within you today to change your life, or something like that. Or just like you can read anyone's quote and say how it resonates with you, something that's inspiring to people that gives them value. That is the key in what you're sharing. People don't necessarily want to see like a sweaty selfie, I worked out today, every single post anymore. They want to know why is that important? Like, Brooks, you're smoking hot in your leopard sports bra, Brooke. That's adding value to people's lives because everyone is watching you. So she was on our in the virtual gym today with Shani, who is such an amazing sweet girl. I've known her since I dated her brother in high school. And she was like, oh my gosh, like I feel like I'm meeting a celebrity, Brooke, because it's so cool because so many people follow Brooke and she's adding so much value by sharing her journey. So find out what you can do to add value and how you want to go about doing that consistently. So those are like 90 days, commit to it for 90 days, find something you can be consistent on. If you maybe make the posts, if you don't want to use it like plannily, make the posts and save them in a special album in your phone, and then make a time like, okay, every morning after my workout at 6 a.m., I'm going to go post it. Something that's structured and routine that can fit into your life, which I know things happen, but try to make it consistent. It will really help take all of the overwhelm out of being consistent in your marketing. The last thing that I will say about that, if you find yourself with nothing to say, it means you're not growing. If you're growing in your personal development or your business development by reading, most of that's going to come from listening to podcasts or reading books or listening to audiobooks. Excuse me, every day, there should be something that sticks out to you and helps you grow. And guess what? If it helps you grow, you want to turn around and you help other people grow with that quote that you underlined, or that Bible verse that stuck out to you, or that thing in your devotional that really hit home. Share that with people. Write it down in I have a notes in my note section in my iPhone. I have things that I hear from like, what's the gangster we listen to, Brooke? Dr. Billy Alsbrooks. I will listen to his motivational compilation, and then I'll be in the middle of my workout and be like, oh shoot, I gotta go write that down. I'm like typing things out, but then I can go back later and I can put that into a quote. If you're not having anything to say, it means you're not growing in your mindset. So remember that. And don't get down on yourself. Just be like, okay, what am I doing? How am I stretching my brain? And then turn around and help people. Does that make sense? Okay. Doing that, you will always have content. Okay, so that is in your everyday online marketing. I highly recommend planning it out. If you can, structure it, have something alternating, some sort of structure. Create structure for your life. It's the best thing you can do for your business. It is the hardest thing to do in your business because most people you think about our whole like educational system, we're trained to be employees to work for other people and follow rules. And so entrepreneurship is hard because there are not really any rules. like there's suggestions, but at the end of the day, you could do whatever you want or nothing at all. And so a lot of people do nothing at all. And then it's like frustrating because you know you want to, and there's this constant turmoil. So create the structure for yourself that are in alignment with what your goals are. There was such a good quote, and I'm gonna forget it, but it was like, dreaming without discipline is the formula for disillusionment or something. Like if you have these big goals, but you are not willing to be disciplined, you will not be successful. And that's hard for us to hear sometimes, but it's true. So this kind of structure really helps. Okay. Once you have that like, oh my gosh, those posts or whatever structured for the week, there's less pressure on you to like show up and do it. But it makes being in your stories a little bit more fun, and it's easier. It should be easier. So your stories are your background of your life, your daily life. This is like how I do life in the chaos. This is me with poop on my pants because my daughter tore off her diaper, like whatever my life has in store that day. I went to Target. I didn't capture this. I went to Target today, picked up my son, not remembering that it was pajama day. So he's wearing dinosaur Christmas pajamas and a camo hat. And my other son jumped in the car at the last minute, didn't change his shirt after playing in the dirt. And he literally looks like the Charlie Brown kid with dirt all over him, like on his face, all over his shirt. So I made him, before he went in the store, turn his shirt inside out because it was so bad. He had like popsicle stains. I'm like, what is happening? So like that is something that I could have shared in my stories, because what did it make you do? It made you laugh because it made you relate, and it made you smile. And all of a sudden I'm a real person, not like fake person. There's another word, but so that is what marketing is. It is literally about being authentic and helping people relate to who you are, what you're passionate about, because when they trust, that builds trust. When they trust you, they want to work with you and they want to support you in what you're doing, and they want to be in it with you. And that really is what this strategy boils down to. Okay, let's talk really quick about offline marketing, because it still works really well. When I talked to Kim Carver, Sarah Holland, I'm going to call you Holland, which is also weird for me because I know you by Sarah Warnock my whole life. Did you hear about Kim Carver? He's leaving. He left Beachbody. Yeah, so sad. I took it really hard, actually. And I talked with him on the phone after. And I asked him why he was leaving. And we talked through several things that had nothing to do with Beachbody, but about his place in life and his opportunity that he got with, of all companies, Shackley. I always call it Shackley. I know, so weird. I'll have to talk to you personally about it. But one of the things that he said is that it's a very old company. They've been around for like 65 years or something. And they still do a lot of old school network marketing, like in-person events. And I talked to someone else recently, and they had a very big direct selling organization, was very successful. And she did it all through in-person events and bringing people from event to event. And then when like you have a meal prep party at your house, or a cooking, you go through a Beachbody cooking recipe at your house and you invite a few friends, and then you explain about why you like Shakeology and why you love all the recipes and the workouts that you do and how it's helped your life, and how Sarah's story, how it's impacted your life and the weight that you've lost, but how it's helped you be a better mom, and why you're wanting to share it with your friends because it's really means something to you, and they see you, and then you have another one the next month and you tell them, hey, bring your friends. Oh, I have friends that are in California that want to learn more about this too. Cool, let's Zoom them in. And then all of a sudden your regular events are growing. It's why Beachbody suffered in the last 2 years, because they've had no events. It's one of the reasons. It really does make a big difference. So if you're not into the social media thing and you like people and getting together with people, you are an entrepreneur and you have all autonomy to be as creative as you want to be. I'm going to start doing some mom play dates in the park that's across from my house. And I don't know, being creative with that. I have so many businesses to market in my brain, and I get a little bit confused sometimes. I'm like, Well, if you buy a house from me, you get a free bag of Shakeology, and my husband will do some concrete for you. And then I have my stepdad who will do the tractor work. And then I have now a salon apparently that I can give you the ends to. So it gets a little weird in my brain sometimes, but you get the point. So maybe think about that and ask yourself, is that something that would bring me joy? Is that something that's in alignment with the best version of who I am? Is that something that my ideal people are looking for? Is there like a wine night that moms would want to come and like chug, hydrate, and power green shots beforehand? And then you do a wine night and then you do a workout. I don't know, like wine and a workout sounds really fun to me. I've done it before and you're very loose. And so I felt like I'm stronger sometimes when I drink alcohol, which is very weird. I definitely do a better handstand. I learned that after my divorce. I did a better handstands on Moscow mules. So if you didn't know that about me, now you do. Okay.
Sounds perfect for me, Jess.
I think that you would be fantastic at that, Felisa. Like personal training and wine together at your house or at a park, or I don't know, maybe at your wine place where you work, you could host a workout and then a swim. Isn't there a beautiful pool there or something? Then you could go swimming after. And I just think it's fantastic. I agree. Okay. Was this helpful? Okay. I hope so. I also heard something the other day that was really, it was in a real estate class, that was really clarifying for me, I think, as to why I've personally struggled, and one of the areas why I've struggled to help other people be successful. And I wanted to share it with you because I think it will help you guys too. That at the end of the day, people are so busy, and when they're paying you, essentially they're paying to do something with you, they want to be told what to do. A lot of times people don't want a lot of options, and Beachbody has a lot of options. When I started, we didn't have a lot of options, and I felt like it was way easier. Now we have a lot of options and a lot of new and a lot of back-to-back launches and a lot of stuff. And so if you're comfortable with it, I would get to a place where you kind of tell people like, I'm going to ask you some questions of what your goals are. Cause that is still really important, I think, to be professional and be good at what you're doing as a coach. You need to know what their goals are. You don't want to put someone on a weight loss program that wants to gain weight, right? So ask them the questions and then tell them, like, based on what you've shared with me, this is my best recommendation for you. These are the product, and don't put your own doubts in it or fears of, oh, they're going to think it's too expensive, or I don't know if they could afford it. Just tell them your absolute best professional opinion of what's best for them. Because for some people, it's going to be Fire and Flow, Total Solution Pack, adding on the 4-week gut protocol with greens and hydrate, maybe. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. But if that's what's going to really make the powerful shift for that person's life, don't you think they'd want to know? And don't you think they'd want to take advantage of the discounts? Because you get so many when you're adding it onto a Total Solution Pack. So don't hesitate to add on things that will actually serve your people. And if you don't understand the products, that's okay. Learn about them. We have in the New Coach University, we have a whole chapter on that, on the products that you can learn about. And we have the coach office, and there's a lot of ways that you can learn about it. But at the end of the day, make sure that you are the person in alignment with your vision, that you're not letting the hard parts or the parts that you're insecure about stop you from being successful. Because we all have weak areas that we don't know about. Nobody knows everything, not even the top coaches. And guess what? Once you learn something, it changes, like Instagram, and that's okay. So we're constantly just having to shift and learn, but also do things that are in alignment with what we're building, right? And who we want to be in the best version of ourselves. So that's all I got. Any questions about this or about anything that stuck out to you that's really helpful?
So just the exercise you asked, that was helpful. When you asked us, who do we want to attract for the first time ever? I put moms.
Wow, look at you.
I think that for me, it's kind of, I hate niching down. I've always hated it. I've always felt like,
Most
I don't know,
people
that
do.
was hard for me.
Mhm.
But moms are busy, no matter if they work or not, they're busy. And I'm in the busiest part of my entire life I've ever been in, like legit, like personal stuff, work,
Yeah.
whatever. And I realized that moms are the people who know how to buckle down.
Mhm.
Everybody else, I mean, they have a ton of excuses. I'm not saying moms, we don't have ours, but I just feel like as far as determination and really the grit to make it happen, I feel like moms are where I'm at. So I wanted to say that. And then I wanted to kind of give a little bit of advice about reels. I've been doing not consistently, but yet way more lately than I've ever done. And I know Brooke's seen a few of them. I do what makes me smile and what makes me happy. And I suggest that 100%. As silly as it sounds, one of my biggest hits has been the marshmallow one as far as views. When I went on there and said that I wanted to be a marshmallow and just wobble around with joy, like that, I literally watched that one myself because it makes me laugh.
It was funny.
And then my daughter wanted to do it. But that's what I recommend, is doing ones that make you smile and don't take a long time. Like I'll start one and I try it twice and I'm like, you know what? Not working. I move on, and then ones with your kids. I did one with my daughter, with the 90s music, like what songs did she know? And that was a big hit too. And it was fun and she had fun. And so that's what I recommend with reels, honestly.
I love that. That's really awesome advice. I agree. Because most of these stressed out people that we're actually needing to target, and that's their problem, they enjoy laughter. Thanks for sharing. Anything else, you guys? Any questions about anything? Anything that stuck out to you? If not, I will let you guys go.
I like the 90-day approach. I think that's a good, like a quarterly, like quarter goals, right?
Yeah.
Quarterly activity goals, and
Yeah.
then let the results come from. And 90 days feels doable, big enough that, if you miss a day or two, you're not,
Right.
it's not like missing 2 out of 5 days of a week for weekly goals, but the longer term.
Yeah.
And then being able to adjust what worked, what didn't for the next quarter.
I agree. And you brought up a good point of finding a way to track it, of like maybe write down how many, not that it matters that much, like how many Instagram followers that you have. I hate that word even, like, yeah, let's get people to follow us, but like write down how many you have. Maybe the one thing I forgot to say, I can't believe I did. Instagram is also really ramping up spending a lot of money on improving direct messaging and showing that they really value direct messaging. So if you were to be able to set up your week of your posts, you could have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes a day, depending on in alignment again with what your vision is, developing that discipline of just messaging people, responding to their stories, like being a good community member. It does go a long way in building relationships online, which sounds so weird, but it does go a long way. I will also say, and I'll talk about this more in the invite section, I get phone calls now that I have my real estate license almost every day from people who want to help me improve my business by me paying for their marketing, like whatever. And I can tell, like, you can weed through the people who is like really salesy, but then you can also, and I just found one yesterday, the day before. It's a genuinely awesome program that supports military, law enforcement, veterans. That's very much our niche here in real estate. And we spent $1,000 on a 90-day program. So, and that was a complete stranger. And I asked a ton of questions and walked through, like, what's my ROI? What is it? And it's to get like ads on live streaming, like on Hulu, like on local, you know how you guys get commercials up and then ads on people's phones if they type in like, how much is my house worth or whatever, our video ad will come up. And so it was just a good reminder that even if you're cold messaging people, if you have a track record on your business page of website or Instagram or Facebook, whatever it is, you have a track record of being consistent and you're sharing transformations, that what we do really does change people's lives. And the return on your investment, you may be investing 160 to 260 bucks, but the return you're going to get, you're going to be like Brooke or Sarah, or all of you actually have amazing transformations. And this is going to be your return. People are going to want to invest in that. But when we don't market that consistently of what they're going to get, they're not going to know. So their trust isn't going to be as high, and they're not going to understand necessarily that investment piece. So I just am every day getting these parallels of like, wow, that's I learned how to become a real estate agent in Beachbody for 6 years, basically. So okay. Oh, sorry. Go, Sarah.
I kind of am doing, like you said, you were doing like the play dates once a week or something. I did just reach out to a lot of moms and say, hey, like once a week, let's go on a walk around the track up at the high school. So I'm hoping that will help maybe expand to a lot more local people. And that kind of reminded me of what you were saying of doing like what is it, off social media marketing, whatever.
Absolutely. So this is where I would, in your mindset, I would say this is going, like, for sure, this is going to help, but it's not just going to help your business. It's going to help your community. It's going to help your networking. It's going to help your friendships. And you're going to be able to be a gift of light to these other moms who probably need it. Like when I wrote down the problems that my target group is having, it's like stressed out. They have no time, no energy. Their spirit's exhausted. They feel isolated and alone. They have no structure in their life. Their life is chaos. They want tips for how to have healthy kids, health tips of their own.
That's exactly what I was writing.
Perfect. Okay. So like they need what you have, and how cool that you are taking the time to go out there and meet them. You know, that's amazing. That's awesome. So proud of you. I can't wait to hear how that goes. You're going to take over Grangeville. I love it. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for being on the call tonight. I really appreciate you guys taking the time. I know everyone has busy lives and their families. Felisa, let's stay in touch about the photographer. Got your message. Okay, everybody, have a good night. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.